Well, it's an honor having you on. I got a special guest. How's my audio? My audio pretty good.
Dialed in, man. Dialed in.
I got a special guest today. And I met you at the vault, and I know you have a relationship with Pat and his team, and so I consider you as a brother because all those people over there are like brothers, and they have a lot of love for us, and they support. My guest
Great,
today is
great
Raul
community.
Velasquez, and if you've read the New York Post, if you read the Times, Forbes magazine, USA, Times, or on Telemundo, even Entrepreneur magazine, you probably read one of his articles. And he also has a podcast, him and his wife. It's called God, Money, and Purpose, which is very powerful. But today we're gonna talk about something that's really I think it's really not spoken about, in the men's community. I know, for example, like a lot of families don't talk about money, they don't talk about sex, and men don't talk about the edge.
Hmm.
Uh, Tell us exactly what the edge is, break that down, because a lot of men are suffering with that, finding that edge and understanding exactly what that means. Uh, the name of the podcast before we start is called Massive Action. And massive action basically is it's a symbol. Whenever you see massive action, uh, that's supposed to trigger something in you to say, hey, you know what? Get your ass up, get to work, stop making excuses because someone's depending on you. Someone sacrificed to get you where you're at. So be a man and stop making excuses. Take massive action, That's what massive action is about. So break down a little bit about the edge, and I'm curious. This is gonna be a good conversation.
Awesome, awesome. So, Stan, first of all, thank you for having me right here. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I was looking at your YouTube channel, man, and it looks like you're doing some great work. I love the name of the podcast, Massive Action. I think that's what separates a man from the boys, right? The
Yeah,
man take action. The boys are just talking about shit, right? The
yeah,
boys are just talking about what they're gonna do one day. And to me,
mm,
that's what the edge is. The edge is having the energy. First of all, a man who has the edge, Stan, has the energy. What does that mean, right? A lot of people say, what does the energy mean? Energy is everything. Energy is money. Energy is sex. Energy is love. If a man doesn't have energy, he's constantly going to be drifting through life. So
yeah,
for me, a man who has the edge has the energy to go into a room and own that room, to be able to deliver with confidence, with certainty, his
yeah,
message. He knows who he is, and he's not questioning who he is as a leader, as a father. See, we have a lot of men right now that don't have that energy. They have the confused energy, right? They have the, like, I don't know if I'm a man, I don't know if I'm a woman, I don't know what the fuck I am, right? And now a lot of men are, I don't know, how should I be a nice guy? Should I be a toxic masculine guy? Should I be? So everybody's confused about what a man should be. A man with the edge understands who he is, what he stands for, and he has the energy that he doesn't have to please everyone because
yeah,
he knows who he serves. So a lot of men who don't have the edge, they play the victim role.
yeah,
One aspect of not having the edge is being a victim of circumstances, blaming the government, blaming the people, blaming everyone else except
yeah,
for yourself. And I believe that a man who has the edge takes full ownership of who he is.
yeah,
Takes full
yeah,
ownership because there's three types of men, Stan. The man who has the edge, which is described right now, the man that doesn't have the edge, and if they don't have the edge, you're going to be triggered by this conversation. You're
yeah,
going to lose a lot of listeners for this conversation because they never had the edge in the first place. But then there's
right.
another type of man, Stan, is a man who lost the edge. And
Mm,
I believe that is the most dangerous place to be. A man who lost the edge because at one point he was on fire. At one point he had that energy, right? Another part of having the edge is having determination,
yeah,
determination to be able to get shit done. And the most important part is being guided, allowing yourself to
mm,
be guided to execute, guided by a higher power, guided by a calling, guided by something bigger than you. Most men right now, they're just feeding into their ego so much that they think they are the shit. They're self-made. I tell
yeah,
everyone, listen, I'm not self-made. God made me, and if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. So I,
yeah,
I give all the honor to God, and I know everything that I do is a reflection of His will. So I'm being guided by a higher power. And the last
yeah,
thing which you said, massive action, is execution.
mm,
Execution. A man with the edge knows how to execute. So I broke it down in four things: energy, determination to be guided to execute.
Mm,
That's what a man with the edge means. So,
mm.
so now we're talking about the man who lost the edge. I think that's the most dangerous place to be. So hopefully your
Yeah.
listeners who are listening to this understand, like, just because he had the edge at one point doesn't mean you're gonna have it forever. I'm
Mm,
sure, Stan, you could relate to all the trials and
yeah.
tribulations that we go through, that at one point we lose the edge.
Yeah.
And that was me. I lost my edge. I went to deep depression. I went through failure. I was sabotaging my marriage. I was drinking every single day. I was going through this dark place, Stan, because I didn't understand what I just explained to you of what does it take to have the edge.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, what the energy. So I was consuming porn. I was consuming negative news. I was consuming all this. I was filling myself with negative energy. So therefore I
Mm,
became a
man.
victim. I
Yeah.
was making excuses. I was blaming somebody else. Oh, the market, crashed, or I lost millions of dollars in the market. So I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't disciplined. I
Yeah.
didn't have determination.
Wow.
And then I lost my faith. I lost myself. I started even arguing with God and questioning God, and I
Yeah.
lost that connection. So that's why I went into this dark place, which I call a tunnel. I wasn't executing. I was in this dark place. And that's why I do what I do, Stan, is I believe that most men, they don't know that the tunnel they find themselves in is an opportunity where they're gonna be able to find their edge.
Mm. That it's very interesting. Like the edge, your main I want to say it's your edge is the edge. So it's kind of like the edge is your edge. So that drives you.
Hmm.
So the edge, a lot of guys, I think that they were raised with the wrong beliefs. And they were almost raised as like you have to be like the nice guy.
Hmm.
And I was having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about how society is pushing women to be more masculine, and it has the guys being more feminine. Like it's all screwed up. Like it's really screwed up.
So let me tell you what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let me ask.
And
Yeah,
just because I was just having this conversation early on this morning with my team, and we're talking about, because we're coming out with an assessment. Like any
yeah,
man could go into a website and look at what's my edge score, right? Because we look at an assessment. Just because you have the edge doesn't mean that you are a leader. Just
mm,
because you are a leader doesn't mean you have the edge,
yeah,
right? So
mm,
you could have the edge and you could be toxic, right? You also could have the edge because there's a lot of men who have the energy of, hey, I'm a big guy, right? I'm making money, right? You
yeah.
have a lot of guys who are determined. You have a lot of guys who feel that they're guided for the wrong reasons. You have a lot of guys who execute it. So some men have the edge, but they're using it in a negative way.
Oh
So
wow.
that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I really want to make sure that understands that what I do is help men discover their code to the edge, their own code, because the framework that I use is to help them discover what gives you the edge. And then more important, how can you use your edge to be able to create an impact?
yeah.
Because if you don't use your edge to create an impact, then you're using it for selfish reasons, and eventually that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Because most men who have the edge, man, you see the guys driving Lamborghinis, making them. I'm not against that, but what I'm seeing is, who are they impacting? What
Yeah.
type of role model are they creating? If you see a guy with a bunch of girls, is that really what you want to do? Is that really who you want to influence? So
Yeah.
I choose to use my edge to create a better future for my kids, to be able to be an example for my son, an example for my daughter. So everything that I do, every decision that I make, I look at it from the mindset of building a kingdom. So I could use the edge as a warrior and get laid and get paid.
Yeah.
Or I could use the edge as a king and create an impact and build a legacy. That's a
Wow.
crucial distinction
Yeah.
of how you could use the edge.
Yeah. So give me some examples of how someone like me, because I'm pretty sure someone's gonna watch this and they're like, man, that's me. Like, I'm lost. I feel like I'm, just coasting through life. I don't really have a routine. I don't really have goals. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm at this dead end job. Like, what is some advice to kind of get them going to try to find this edge?
So the first step is realizing that you're not alone. Okay.
Mm,
So if you look back in the tribal days, right, we were tribal men, right? And if you wanted to be the leader of the pack, you had to prove yourself to the pack. You have to prove yourself to the tribe that you were worthy to be a leader, right? So
yeah.
what you had to do is you had to go into the wilderness and you have to go and hunt the wolf. And if you came back alive with the wolf's skin, man, you were the leader, right? So you have to prove it. So you have to realize that you have value in the tribe. So what we've done now is that we made it so easy for men to think that just because you have money, you're gonna be a leader. Just because you have money, your woman is gonna respect you. Just because you're providing, your kids should love you. Just
Yeah.
because you're the owner of the company, people should be honored to work with you. No, it's the other way around. We have to serve, right?
Yeah.
So because we've created this culture that we made men think that they could only be achievers by money, then we have a bunch of assholes running around thinking that that's the only way to value their life.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you make the money, you become depressed. So the first thing to do is realize that you're not your business, you're not your profession. Your business, your profession are part of who you are. So
Yeah.
disconnecting yourself from what you do, because sometimes what you do is what keeps you enslaved. What you do is what keeps you hostage. You have to reinvent yourself in order for you to discover who can I become.
Yeah.
That's the
Wow.
main question to ask everybody. Like, write down who could you become right now. If you would have met me 10 years ago, you probably would have not listened to me because I didn't have the communication skills. Man, I used to do a video. It used to take me 3 hours to do a 5-minute video, man, because I was so self-conscious and
Yeah.
I couldn't speak in public. But through trial, tribulation, through exercise, to making sure every single day I'm putting in content, every single day I'm speaking to people, I'm creating an impact, I'm able to do what I do. So the
Yeah.
second step is once you realize who can I become, the second step is, do you believe you could figure this shit out?
Yeah.
Okay, because if you don't believe you could figure this shit out, then it's not gonna work. So the first
Yeah.
is, who could you become? Let's say you're in a dead-end job. Okay, can you become a business owner? Can you become an entrepreneur? Can you become a supervisor? Can you become something better than where you are right now? So that's compelling future.
Yeah.
The second is, do you believe? Not that you believe you could have it. A lot of people say, I believe. No. Do you believe you could figure things out to get to the next level?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the second thing is belief, and that's where we help men change their mindset to rewire their mindset to increase that belief, because we have a lot of men, even though they're making millions, they don't feel worthy. They don't feel worthy of love, so therefore they sabotage your relationships.
Yeah.
They don't feel worthy of the money that they make, so therefore they sabotage your business.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
They don't feel worthy of serving God or of building a community, so therefore they always go to the feeling of how worthy do I feel about
Yeah.
this? Right, so
Yeah.
we work on the belief. That's the third thing that you need to do is you have to claim it.
Claim
Claim
it.
what? Claim it. What do I mean by
Okay.
claiming it? You have to put a stick on the ground saying, okay, I am going to conquer this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to be a better entrepreneur. And you don't have to claim it just one time. You have to claim it every single day.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Claim it every single day. So that's where the power statements or the affirmations or whatever it is that you want to say, that you want to write them down, you want to speak it, you want to speak your world into existence. Like
Yeah.
the version of me that you're seeing right now, Stan, I created this version every single day. Every single day, I claimed it. I claimed it. I claimed I have the edge. I am the edge. I'm committed. I'm determined. I am
Yeah.
focused. Nothing will get in my fucking way. I've been saying that for the past decade. I have a daily ritual that I teach my clients where they're programming themselves every single day.
Yeah.
So that's part of claiming it, right? And the last part is act on it. You
Acting on
gotta
it.
act on it. Act on it. You have to back it up with action. You have to anchor with action. Because if you don't act on it, all this shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
All this is dreams and affirmations and talk, right? Act
Yeah.
on it. And doesn't have to be perfect action. Sometimes imperfect action creates momentum. You're gonna try different things. You're gonna fail, but you're gonna
Yeah.
say, I'm gonna learn from this. You may lose some money on that deal, but you're gonna learn from it. You may get some critics by saying certain things, but you're gonna learn from it. And little by
Yeah.
little, as you act on it, you're gonna build momentum, and then it's gonna increase your vision. You're gonna see things clearly. You're gonna believe it even more. You're gonna claim it even harder, and then you're gonna act in a different way. So there's a whole cycle. You have to
Wow.
see it, you have to believe it, you have to claim it, and you have to act on it every single day. Same thing. See it,
Wow.
believe it, claim it, and act on it. And that's how you sharpen the edge. That's how you sharpen the edge on a daily basis. No matter what people say, no matter what happens with the market, you are a work in progress.
Wow.
You
Give
almost
me some examples of some routines, because I know it starts I know it starts with the routine, not so much habit, but the routine like has a better routine has a better result than creating a habit, like getting a new habit. What are
So
some of the routines?
I teach this process called the daily ritual, Stan. And in this daily ritual, there's 4 steps. Okay. And it's very simple. Anybody could do it. The first step is gratitude.
Mm,
Okay. Spend 1 to 3 minutes of just focusing on gratitude. What am I thankful for? What am I grateful for? What brings me love? What brings me joy? Right? When you start really meditating on gratitude, when you have a gratitude practice, man, your stress will diminish. So I
mm,
teach that. I teach emotional fitness is not just emotional awareness, emotional fitness. What is the difference between emotional fitness and emotional awareness? Emotional awareness is realizing, okay, I'm stressed. I am this. Emotional fitness is, okay, I'm stressed, but I'm still doing the work. Yeah, I
yeah,
feel pressure, but I'm still going to show up because I'm fit
yeah.
enough to handle the stress. So gratitude reduces stress and opens up your mind to the second step, which is energetic anchors,
Mm,
creating energetic anchors. That's when I talk about claiming it, right? Speaking it. People understand power affirmations. I call them power statements.
okay.
What's the difference between an affirmation and a power statement? An affirmation is passive. A
Mm,
power statement has emotion, has a drive behind it.
mm.
An affirmation could be like, I take, give me an affirmation. Give me one affirmation that you've you
Uh,
heard.
uh, like um, like I am successful, like that, like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say an affirmation, right? I am
Okay.
successful. All right. So I will change it into a power statement that says, every single day I know exactly what to do to get shit done.
Mm,
Or every single day I'll know exactly what to do to succeed in my life. You see,
yeah.
so now I'm putting power behind it. So instead of I am successful or I am happy, every single day I enjoy my life, and I have all the time that I need, and I have all the joy that I deserve.
Mm,
Something that you have to put emotion. You notice how I put emotion behind the
yeah.
words. If
Yeah.
it's just saying I'm happy, I'm successful, I'm gonna kill it today, it doesn't well, that's affirmation. That's why most men are sedated, because they're
Yeah.
numb.
Mm,
I want men to have that energy inside of them that says, man, I can't wait to go into the battlefield.
yeah.
The first is gratitude. Second is an energetic anchor. The third, which I want to challenge you to find out who else teaches this, because I think I'm the only crazy man out there teaching this, which is helping men face their fears every
Mm,
single day through breath work and meditation. Picture your nightmare. Okay, picture your
mm,
nightmare, and through breath work, you actually I help men step into that nightmare as if it was a reality. You see how people
yeah.
teach you, like, step into your dream life, right? Step into your manifestation as it was a reality. I teach the opposite. Step
Mm,
into your nightmare, right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your family's sick, your wife is sick, your kids are sick. Step into for 1 or 2 minutes. I don't want you to stay there. Just feel it for 1 or 2 minutes. What would it feel like if you get the news that your wife is sick? What would it feel like if you get the news that your son is sick, that your daughter is sick? Wouldn't matter all the bullshit that you're thinking about in the morning, about all your emails, or even the bill
Mm,
collectors, or whatever it is. All that is minimum compared to those news. So I call that turning pain into fuel, because once you realize that that's not happening, that your kids are safe, your family's safe, whatever happens to the day is going to be minimum.
mm,
It's not going to trigger you the same way as if you
yeah.
are not expecting it.
Yeah.
And the last
Wow.
step of the ritual is, now, who could you become without the bullshit fear?
Yeah.
Who could you become if you don't have the monkey in your back? And from that place, man, you create so much emotional fitness that, man, you're ready to take on the fucking day like you're the gladiator,
So
man. You take
true.
on the
Yeah.
day like you're Superman. So that's
Yeah.
where I come in and help men really create a practice that will serve them at the highest level, by having absolute certainty that they're
Yeah.
being guided, that they have energy, that they're being determined through discipline, and what matters is execution.
Wow. That's big to go to your darkest, like worst nightmare and just face it. Face it
And
for a couple of minutes. And what does it feel like? Because they do that with, like, affirmations. Kind of visualize where you want to be at, and what does this feel like? What does it smell like? And right, to emotionally. But then it's like you take it to a different level. You're like, you know what? Let's go to the darkest place. Tell me what the fuck that feels like. and tell me what you're going to do about it, because you have time today to make sure that doesn't happen. That's a fire right there.
And you probably could relate to this if you ever been in. I mean, I was bullied when I was in school. I came here when I was 11 years old. Came from Ecuador. First day in school, some kid asked me something. I didn't know what he was asking, so I said yes. Then all of a sudden, all the kids coming around and said, "Oh," I said yes. So I thought he was asking, if I wanted to be his friend. So I
Yeah.
said yes. It's the only thing I knew, the word yes. At the end of the school day, this girl comes to me and said, "Hey, I can't believe you said that to him." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "He asked you, do you think you could fuck me up?" And I said, "Yes."
Yeah.
So at the end of that day, I got my ass kicked. So that was
Yeah.
my welcome committee to America, right? So,
Wow. Yeah.
so that was a challenge for me. It was like, okay, you know what? This is how it's gonna be. I need to toughen up. I need to become better. I need to either, one, learn the language, two, learn how to fight because I don't want to get my ass kicked,
Yeah.
and I had to get toughen up. I think that's what's part of facing your fears. Guess what? At the beginning, it's gonna be uncomfortable. At the
Yeah.
beginning, you're not gonna like it, but you gotta toughen up because I
Yeah.
believe that I love personal development, Stan. I love growth. I love Tony Robbins. I love all these guys. But what I find is 85% of people who are going to seminars and personal development events or meditation retreats or whatever it is that you want to go to is women. And I love women. I have nothing against women. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, but there is a lack of workshops of training strictly for men.
That's what you're
What I
saying.
do is for men. I want to bring that male energy, that masculine energy to this shit. Right.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of heat by women calling me and say, "Hey, how could you exclude women? You must, be a toxic masculine man. You must be a toxic man. That you hate women." I said, "No, I'm serving women by helping you
Yeah.
solve the biggest pain in the ass that you have, which is men."
Yeah.
I'm helping men become better men so they
Yeah.
could love you better, so they could be better fathers, better husbands, better leaders. That's how I'm helping women. So the reality is, I am helping women on incognito because I'm
Yeah.
helping men become better.
Yeah. Because you're tapping into the men's, like you're almost like going into a place where they don't feel comfortable talking about it. And so they feel comfortable when they're around you and your group and other men that are going through the same issue. And so now they get to open up and probably answer all the questions they have and been struggling with, and also address that monkey on their back. You know?
The most common feedback that I get, Stan, is when men come to the program and they leave the program, they're like, "Fuck, I had no idea that other men were feeling the same way.
Yeah.
I had no idea other men who were successful, that look successful, that know how to produce are feeling the same way." Because at the end, we're all the same. I mean,
Yeah.
I train men who are looking to make their first million to men who are looking to make their first billion. Okay, at the core, Stan, the men are the same. They have the
Mm.
same shit, the same challenges. So there's no difference. But
Yeah.
we go through all this bullshit thinking that, oh, I'm better than you because I make more money. I'm better than you because I've done this. No, at the end of the day, men at our core, we're simple creatures. We
Wow.
want to matter. We want to provide. We want to protect. We want to give ourselves the permission to be the leaders of our family. But that's what the society is doing. It's taking away that power from men
Yeah.
and not giving men the permission to be the leaders. So therefore, now you have a family that doesn't have a leader and doesn't know what to do. So now the man is confused.
Yeah.
And women are thinking that they could do a better job. And that's what we're seeing right now. All these young men who are suffering right now with confusion is our responsibility.
Yeah.
That is a product of our own doing because men didn't step up. We fucked up on this. We were not fathers. We were not there. We were maybe absent fathers. And we didn't give the time to our kids that they needed to be able to feel safe, to go through the challenges and the changes that we're
Wow.
going through. So
Yeah.
now, how can we fix it? Now we have to have these conversations. We have to give ourselves permission. No, I'm gonna lead. I'm not gonna let you do this to my kids. I'm not gonna let you influence my kids. I'm gonna take it from here.
Yeah.
People are always like surprised that Andrew Tate is one of the most famous men in the world. When I saw that, I said, I'm not surprised because he's saying exactly what a lot of men wanted to say,
Yeah.
right? But at the end of the day, if you look at Andrew Tate, that lifestyle, he has determination, he has energy, he's disciplined, and he's executing. But
Mm.
do you believe that that edge is the edge to build a family? Do you believe that
Mm.
that edge is the edge to build a community? No, more power to him, and I have nothing against him, but I know that that's the warrior's edge.
Yeah.
Because the framework that I use is warrior, sedated warrior, and king.
Mm,
The warrior knows how to battle. The sedated warrior, he lost his edge. The
mm,
king knows how to use his edge to be able to create an impact, to be able to create a family,
mm.
to be able to create
You're
a
saying.
better community.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a transition. Like you have to decide. Well, first you have to decide if you want to take on this journey, and you have to commit to finding your edge. But once you find your edge, like you're gonna be unstoppable. Like you're gonna be unstoppable.
Well, that is the idea that a lot of people have. But what I tell my guys is like, once you find your edge, get ready for the challenge
Yeah.
because life is gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I've
you're right.
gotten guys. Listen, I tell guys coming to my program, listen, be careful what you wish for, because if you're telling God and you tell the universe, listen, I'm ready to lead, I'm gonna create an impact. You have to be ready to get into the ring. You have to be ready to take the punches. So having the edge is not a one-time thing; is an everyday thing.
Oh wow,
But
that's what
the
you're saying.
more you sharpen it, the better you're gonna get, and you're gonna welcome the challenges. You're
Yeah.
gonna welcome adversity because you know that you're living by a higher purpose.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So the edge is a lifelong journey of growing and learning, and
Hundred percent.
that's where you want to be at. Like because you're open minded, you're aware, you're leading. You're not gonna do everything's not gonna be perfect. You're taking punches, but you're learning, and you understand that's the process.
Hundred
Wow,
percent.
that's big. That's big. Wow. How can some guys sign up for the edge? Where do they have to go?
So they could go to my Instagram page, Raul the Edge. That's my handle. But they could go to the edge100challenge.com. The edge100challenge.com. We have a program for 100 days. We coach and we help men and find their code to the edge the 100 days. Why 100 days, Stan? Because I believe the first 100 days in a man's journey creates a solid foundation.
Mm,
So we help them create a solid foundation, and then after that is just maintenance. We help them maintain it and sharpen it. Because I can't promise I would give the edge in one day, but I could
no,
promise I could help a man in 100 days find his code so he could build a solid foundation to sharpen his edge.
yeah. Um, Tell us about the book real quick. You have a book? Can they also get the book still?
Yeah, absolutely. Kingscodebook.com. King's Code Book. I mean, that's the framework right there that we just talked about. The book talks about what the edge is, how to find the edge. It goes deeper into the story of my depression. It goes deeper into the story of why I do what I do.
Yeah,
And truly, it's a calling. It's a calling, Stan, because at the end of the day, we all have to fulfill our purpose in this world. I choose to live this world with men that are better off than if I didn't do
yeah.
this. Like that's my legacy. What I tell my clients is one day my kids meeting your kids saying, "Hey, I want to thank you I want to thank your dad for helping my dad stay together with my mom, or
Wow.
help my dad, be a better father." So that for me is legacy. The King's Code book is a story of 8 men, 8 case studies that I've helped find the edge, and it's some inspirational stories there. There's some frameworks. There is a guide to help every single man live with purpose.
Well, I'm gonna purchase some of those books and give out to some of our viewers, some of our guys we have in the massive action community. Just to kind of, everybody needs some guidance, especially today with so much distractions. I mean, like you said, the pornography, the social media, the influencers making everything look so lifestyle look so easy. It's a distraction, and these guys are getting out to the workforce, and they're realizing that they got to have some skills.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's not easy. It's not easy, man. Not easy. You either are somebody's reason why they're gonna succeed or somebody's excuse.
Mm,
All right. So but you can't be both. You gotta
yeah.
choose. You're gonna be somebody's excuse or somebody's reason. I
Wow.
choose every single day to say fuck excuses. I'm gonna be the reason why somebody's gonna succeed.
Yeah. Well, brother. So that wraps up our interview, and we'll definitely follow up. I want to go deeper, maybe on a part two. I
Okay.
want to get into like the podcast you and your wife have. That's pretty interesting. Well, maybe we can do that on a second video and go more into that. And man, if there's anything that I can do to help you out with the movement and what you got going on, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help.
Thank you, brother. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sam.
brother. Yes, sir.
Thanks.